You're listening to the Here for the Clout podcast. Here are your hosts, Sherilyn Dale and Cece Suarez. Yeah, baby.
Hello, Clout Queens, Kings, and In-Betweens. Welcome back to the Here for the Clout podcast. I am one of your hosts, Chelsea Suarez, and this pretty popsicle of petty justice over here is Sherilyn Dale.
They're getting so good, babe. I love when you wait after you say it. You're so cute.
Yeah, listen, it takes a lot because I'm so dyslexic and it's real hard. Like when I read my ad reads and I try to remember like one line at a time, I like stay there. And I know Kaya and Jay watching this are just like, yeah, you do that. Because I'll like stare at the camera and then I have like my like script real big on my computer and all I do is move my eyes and not my head, so it looks like the cuts like aren't as bad.
I'm gonna send you the teleprompter I have so you can put that right in the camera and then you're good to go.
Yeah.
Game changer.
So I even said that in like when I was filming because I was like, guys, should I get the teleprompter that Cher uses?
Oh,
that'd be easier.
They're probably like
she
has
easier,
issues
right?
all the time.
Well, yeah. And I was like, that'd be easier, right? Can you guys let me know if like hers is like more seamless than mine? And then I turn back and I go, who am I kidding? I can't even read. Having the words closer isn't going to be better.
And no, it's not. They'll probably weigh in right now with a little text be like, no, you guys are both doomed. No, it's because mine, like the remote, I don't know. It's just like the time delay of the remote and the prompter. Some days it'll just like go all the way back to the top of the page. And I'm like, I never told you to do that. Or I'll like lose things if I don't have it separated enough. And then in my head, I'm like, oh, I'll be fine. And then when it gets started, it's just this big, long jump, not broken up. It's painful. But anyways, it does help a lot more than before because I was the same. I was like, what? What's my code? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, sounds like you're about to send me a link to something that's not good and that I shouldn't buy. So
no, I'm gonna just have it shipped to your house so that you use it.
Awesome. I love that for me.
How's your day?
Tiresome. I got a lot done today. On Wednesdays, I always try to get as much done as I can because it's like the last work day I technically have for like the week. So
right,
because it's the last day I have my nanny, and yeah, so there's that. I bought us the mics. I'm really excited about. I'm so excited because
Chelsea, you have to send them back.
No.
But are they just gonna send doubles now?
That's none of your business. Knowing me, they're gonna break, so I'm gonna need backup anyways.
Okay, babe.
Stop trying to kill my vibe, Sherilyn.
I am really excited for it. I'm the same. I'm impulsive. I'm very impatient. So I'm like, oh, let's just do this. And then when the other ones come, I'm like, I could have waited.
Yeah. Listen, I love having extra equipment, okay? Ever since I saw Casey Neistat's like studio tour and he had like all of his like retired cameras and like retired microphones and stuff, I was just like, oh, that's amazing. Like I would love to someday like have like things on display.
Yeah, that is really cute. I was thinking about that today when we were talking to one of Brent's really good buddies at the dealership, and he was saying something like, he's like, I remember when like Brent bought that camera, like the first camera, and was like, well, I guess this is what the wife's gonna do. And then he's like, look at you now. And I was like, I love you. And he's like, do you still use that camera? I'm like, no, but like it's backup. Like, so that was really cute. A little moment, right? I never thought about it like that.
I love that.
The beginning. So this is just your guys' push. Just use what you got, man. I think that camera came from Marketplace or something like that. Love Marketplace.
I don't know where I bought this one. Probably Amazon. Yeah, I bought it on Amazon. But
you just gotta start.
The first one though was probably like Best Buy or something, and I bought it on a credit card. I could not afford it, but I did.
There you go. How MLM of you, boss babe.
Oh, I
just put it on a credit card.
I was girl bossing real hard.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Are you ready to be depressed about our topic today?
Okay, well, I don't... Here's the thing. So I sent you the doc, or I added you to it. I haven't sent you the link yet, because I had like a couple of things that I wanted to talk about. And then the one was like really lighthearted and fun. I was in bed like crying this morning, laughing. And then as I kept seeing more things come up about it, I was like, oh, like actually there's a depressing story behind it all.
How dare they? How dare this story have depth?
I know. And then what else was the other? The other one is good. It's just, I had just come across this Instagram post and it was like, tell me the most unhinged thing you did after finding out someone cheated on you. And so I wanted to read the comments because it's like so good. It's
Okay. So I think
these broads are feral AF.
I think we do that for this episode and then we can save the other one for, I don't know what I'm saying. But first, comment call out. So
Yeah.
I think I sent you 2 of them, 4 of them, 17. This one is from D Cools and they said, heck yes, time for my stories.
I love that.
I loved it so much. And then Kayla Gabber said, not me sprinting around the corner to tell my husband my comment got called out.
We love you. And now it'll happen again.
Yep. You better go tell your husband. You better tell Mr. What was her last name? Gabber. And then Whitney R. said the fact that Chelsea has insults thrown at her daily and the one that gets under her skin is how she seasons chicken had me laughing so hard. I take my spice drawer very seriously, okay? So offended.
It is pretty offensive. Yeah. Okay, I had one from Harley9595. It says, my guinea pig's name was Linda. She named herself. When I got that, I was like, what? She said, because one day she wouldn't quiet down. So I yelled, listen, Linda. And she listened. So naturally, she was Linda from then on out.
That's her government name.
That is it. That's so cute. She named herself. I was like, Good ones. I got to get more uploaded on the Insta as well.
Well, yeah, you got to make the graphics and send it to me and I'll upload them. But I decided that I'm going to get an upper BLEPH.
Oh, I want to do this as well. Where are you going?
To the place down the street.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Well, so I texted Injector Rachel, as one does, a trusted source. And I was like, hey, who would you suggest in Tampa for an upper BLEPH? And then she sent me 4 different doctor names and 3 of them I know of. So yeah.
So
I'm probably going to go to a consultation for like 2 of them, but I was looking it up and from what I've seen, it's like $4,000. So I just got to save up or shake my titties while talking about PDS debt or something. Yeah. During a Michaela video.
Perfect. Oh my God. During a Michaela video. Yeah. No, yeah, I definitely want to. I've been looking at it much more now that, I mean, I've always wanted it because of the hooded eyes. And I didn't know, like, you know, it was like such a regular thing for like younger people to have.
You guys, have you seen Hailey Bieber's like before and after of hooded eyes and not hooded eyes?
Yeah, exactly.
Shit is insane. And like we talked about before, because of like the Brooke Schofield of it all, that people like really don't realize that it's so freaking common. And
yeah,
it's like the easiest, I was about to say chemical surgery. What? Cosmetic surgery. I need to get a lobotomy, clearly. God, what's wrong with me? And yeah, like everyone has one. And I'm going to do it because I love myself and I would like to not have hooded eyes. I'd like to be able to actually like wear makeup.
Every time I do it, my makeup, it's like, it's the makeup. I'm like, I'm so limited. I just love like a good, you know whose makeup I love looking at, like, and like wishing I could get it? Michaela's. I'm like, she has the best eyelid space ever.
That's false. Do you know who actually has the best eyelid space?
Who?
Jackie Aina.
Okay, well, either or. The space to be able to create like even the wings and like the thicker wing if you want, or it's just it. I always look and I'm like,
a wing? What is that? We could never.
Yeah, never.
So when are we gonna do it?
And I love like I don't want like a strong one. I just love to do like a little smoke on the end, but still it doesn't work.
Are we?
I don't know. I'm ready to go whenever.
Upper BLEPHs?
I'd love to heal at the same time. That would actually be so fun.
Stop it. We both come on here with those big ass glasses. That would. Okay.
Oh, it'd be perfect.
Yeah, I don't know when we should. I'm thinking like September.
Yeah, it'd have to be after the summer, you know, got to enjoy the summer while it's there, especially for me when we only get like 2 months of it. So
my entire life is summer.
Yeah, September would be good actually, because I have like a big family trip in November. So it'd be enough time to recover. It's a pretty quick recovery.
Yeah, very quick.
Yeah. All right, it's decided. September, BLEPHs. Anybody else want to come join with us?
Speaking of
Join with
us getting matching cosmetic surgeries that are around $4,000 each, did y'all know we have a Patreon? Well, we do, and there's a $5 tier and a $10 tier, and you get, at the $5 tier, you get 2 bonus episodes a month, and then at the $10 tier, you get 4 bonus episodes a month, and then sometimes you also get live streams at both tiers, and behind the scenes content at the $10 tier, and travel vlogs, so you will see so much content at the $10 tier if you are a Clout Queen within the next like month and a half. Basically, we're going to film so much in London because we're staying in the same Airbnb together, just 1 floor apart. It's going to be great. We're going to send the boys off to the pub and we're going to be in our matching pajamas that I got us. And we're just going to
I'm excited
do
to
it.
know about these matching PJs.
Pages?
Yeah.
Like for the memes?
For the meme. For the memes.
I cannot. Maybe I should text Gabby and be like, hey, can you overnight me one of the 17 pairs that you got?
Yes.
That'd
Come on,
be
Gabs.
Awful. I know, right? Come on, come through, Gabs.
That would be actually amazing, though. Kind of iconic, but is it really? I don't know. Anyways, yeah, there's so much content over there. Like, I was even processing that the other day when you said there was like 27 episodes or something like that. I was like, holy f***, there really is. So, like, if you went today, think of how many hours and hours and hours. If you're not sick of us already, obviously, but.
Yeah, if you join the $10 tier, then you get, and if you pay for the full year, then you get 26. By the time this goes live, the bonus episode will already be up for this week. So it'll be 26 bonus episodes, which is, that's over 50 hours of additional content. And then we have vlogs and behind the scenes stuff, and then like random girls' nights and live streams and stuff like that too.
Oh my God, I forgot like the earlier ones. Those were great. We should do more paint nights and games and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, last month we did, technically we're still on track because we did one in February, and then March we did a live stream when we were together, and then we just haven't done one this month.
It's coming. Well, it'll come in May.
Everything's coming. You, me,
everything's always coming.
Everyone.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm good. I get to mentally prepare for surgery. I think they can do it while you're awake, which I prefer.
No.
I think my mom told me that. I have to ask.
You psycho? No.
I am. I would so much rather be awake. If I could have done every surgery awake, all day. You're like Brent. Brent like literally had to get a mole removed and was like, do you put me out?
First of all, Brent and I are not the same. I am not delusional thinking that I am the opposite of the character that I am for over a decade. Okay? I know my place. However, no, I have a pretty high pain tolerance. Like remember I showed you that picture of, or like you've seen my melanoma scar. Mm-hmm. All they did was just local anesthetic for that. And then I've had like, when I was in middle school, I don't know why I was a dirty little gremlin, but I had like 11 warts on my hand. And I like have no idea why, but we had to get them like burnt off and like scooped out. Oh yeah,
I had one on my toe. That was the worst.
Yeah, I was awake for that. I mean, the only thing I've ever been asleep for is my double lumpectomy I had, and that's it. It's the only surgery I've had though.
Yeah, no, I've been under too many times, and I feel like, like when you don't want to around, it's like, is there like a tally of the amount of times that you could do this? And I still like, I want to keep the number low because I still want a nose job. I've always wanted one. We're just talking way too much about plastic surgery. But, so that one I know I'd have to be under for. That one I'm not crazy. I'm not going to sit there and want to like be awake while they like break and crack my nose. But
but them slicing your eyelids off, you want to be awake for that?
Yeah, I was awake when they did the laser eye surgery and they took like I got the PRK one, not the LASIK one where they just like open the flap. Like I literally got the one where they take off like the fucking part of your eye or your lens and then put a little Band-Aid on so that the thing could clear. Like, I was awake. They gave me a lot of Ativan. It was nice.
Yummy.
Yeah, it was really good. And then Brent was just waiting for me, and I was like, it was perfect. Let's go. I did, actually. I wanted to go to a pub after, and he was like, I think we should go home. It was probably for the best.
It's like after Tony got his wisdom teeth out, he's like, okay, I can drive home. And I'm like, probably not. And he was like, no, he was like, they either like give you like the laughing gas and all that and like also do local anesthetic, or they like just do the local anesthetic and that's it. And I was like, okay. And he was like, yeah, so I'm good. He just walked out with gauze in his mouth. We get to the car and like pull out of the parking lot. And he's like, oh, wait, I forgot. I told them I wanted to keep my teeth. So we turned around And I was like, Tony, are you sure you're not high? Like, we're turning around and going to get your wisdom teeth.
Well, let's get started on what I thought was a super fun, adorable, lighthearted segment.
I can't wait to see, like, when, like, I'm going to keep trying to, like, guess, like, how it turns, like, sad. You know?
I feel like you're going to understand right away, but I was just like,
oh, yeah. You do. Yeah. It's like when you're watching the movie Marley and Me and, like, you know the dog dies. So at a certain point of the movie, you're just waiting for the dog to die. And I was watching it with my dad. Well, my whole family, but my dad was there. And then he made that point. And then every time the dog, like, walked outside or, like, got out of their house, he was like, and then boom, gets hit by a milk truck.
Oh my God, Rami.
He said it like 17 times. And it's just like, Rami, no.
That's not how it happens either, Rami. Come on.
Well, you know.
He was probably awful with Old Yeller too. Actually, he probably was affected by Old Yeller. And then that's when he was like, you know, this, I'm never going to get God again.
Probably.
You know what I mean?
No,
he probably cried. And
no, it was definitely like, the movie My Dog Skip.
Oh, I never watched that one. I couldn't watch a lot about animals because, like, I was really addicted to Homeward Bound for a while, but, like, I would cry every single time. And I think that was my parents' choice, actually. I think they were just like, you know what? We just don't watch animal movies in this house anymore.
It's kind of like when Linda got, like, 7 different, like, sea monster movies for us to watch in Boca. And it's like, Linda, can you stop getting, like, shark attack movies and, like, Lake Placid?
Like, who wants to watch Jaws
7 more times? I mean, I do, Mom, but maybe we shouldn't. Yeah. And,
I can
like,
see it. Her just thinking it's a great idea. Yeah. Oh, classic. Love that one. Yeah, Lake Placid, you said too. Awesome one too. Oh yeah. I forgot about some of those.
Oh, yeah,
which one was LL in? Deep Blue Sea, right? Is that the one? Yeah. Yeah.
And he survives.
Yeah, he does.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't think he did.
Well, yeah.
He would have been like our server. His storyline was kind of like our server in Atlanta, where I was like, you know.
Where Sherilyn was like, oh, he'd definitely get killed first in a horror movie.
No, we would. No, the one we love. No, the other guy that was serving the other table, he's the first to go. But the one that we had, he would have been like, you thought he was dead, but
and
he's
then
the one that's going to save you at the end.
Like, we're about to get murdered, and then the murderer, like, gets an arrow through the head or something. And we just, like, look off into the distance, and there's Eugene or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
That wasn't his name.
No. It wasn't Eugene or Walter, but yeah, I got it.
One of those.
We're getting more in sync, in unison, if you will. But you know what? We'll never be is as unison as these gals that we are going to watch right now.
Good job.
I sent you the link.
That was really good. All right. Okay. You know my mom's a twin, right?
Is she?
Yeah. And Tony's dad's a twin.
What?
That's why I'm terrified to have another kid, because I'll most likely have twins.
This is brand new information.
And then I'll kill myself. What?
No, you won't. Kelsey's a twin too. She's has a brother, like twin brother, which I think is like so adorable because it's like bing bang boom bop, you're done. You know?
Yeah. It's, one and done. Like, I wouldn't have minded if we had them first, you know, because then it's like perfect.
Well, yeah, I'm done. Because then you're like, I don't know anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know how people do it.
Something extra to consider.
I'm terrified. No, I'm getting closer and closer to being like, okay, Tony, again, vasectomy for your birthday. Let's go. But my mom and her sister are obviously fraternal twins, or identical twins. And then my father-in-law and Tia Maida, Yaya, are fraternal twins. So obviously they're not identical because one has a penis.
Yeah.
Well, some people are stupid and are like, oh, are you two identical? And it's like, we don't have the same genitals. Like, what? Almost as dumb as when my dad one time said, oh, Lori, when's your birthday?
Stop it.
To my mom's twin sister. Yeah. Listen, my dad's really smart, okay?
Yeah.
All right, I'm ready. Oh, I hate it already. Oh, why are they dressed the same?
Just...
And one guy, he was up there with our mum, and he he went up there and he was coming back down towards us and he goes, run, he's got a gun. And our heart started to pound and I said, oh, Mum, where's Mum? And poor Mum was stuck up there, but apparently our brave Mum, she goes, are you all right? Because he had all blood all over his face. And he goes, I'll shoot you. She goes, hey, I'm here to help. And Mum distracted him to make him look the other way, and he looked the other way, and Mum ran into the bush behind the fence. And the guy goes to her, I'll find you and I'll shoot you.
Let me tell you something. I hated that so much. Why did you show me that?
Just wait. So go in the document. Okay, this is why I was laughing, because I was like, oh my God, this is what it reminded me of. So go in the document and click on the one that what it reminded me of. And then it just got better, like, from there.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
Our first song that we wrote is called Flower Alert.
And here we go. When I look out my window, I see a bird back. A bird back. A bird back with birdseed. With some birdseed. I said, I saw some birdseed. Well, shut the gates, shut the doors, shut everything outside. It's time to roll the lawn. Yes, sir. No way.
All right, I'm sorry. Stop. That was not.
Not them. Garth and Kat from SNL. I loved their skits when they would do that, because like either whichever one was like heading it, the other one had no idea. So they're like trying to like keep up, and that's what it was giving to me. So I kept like seeing these two women like show up on my FYP all day. And then like they were on Jimmy Kimmel, got like an interview there.
Oh no.
Yeah, they did an interview there. But then all of a sudden I see, this was like a really...
Are we watching the Jimmy Kimmel interview?
We could. Yeah, why don't we? Yeah, why don't we?
A comedy bit, but I know it's not. Do you speak in tandem on purpose?
No. This is us, and that's how we are. We know that we annoy a lot of people out there, but you know what? If they can't stand hearing us talk how we do, they can just simply turn off the TV.
Hey, I love it. I don't find it annoying at all.
I do. I really do. Oh God. You know,
so
girl, no, hold on. There's a theory that's just in my brain. I don't know if it's actual theory, but with twins, that you're either that like one of you got more of the good stuff in the womb, and then the other one is like, you know, has bug eyes and looks like she's always walking into an intervention. That's my Aunt Lori. She's the evil twin. Love you, Linda. Yeah, it's not great. But, you know, like, for instance, like Tony's dad is shorter than Tia Maida. Like, and he always jokes that because she was older, she like was like stronger and like got out first and like took all the good stuff from him. And he's like, that's why she has a full head of hair and I'm bald. And I'm like, well, you're both deaf, so I don't know who wins there. They're the best though, and seeing them with each other is my favorite.
I love that.
Yeah, but also Mama Elsa, their mom, didn't know that she was pregnant with twins back then. I mean, think about it. They're 70 something.
So they're just like, oh, there's something else.
Yeah, they didn't have like imaging, so they didn't know.
Yeah. Right, makes sense.
Terrifying. So what I was gonna say though is like usually, you know, one twin gets more of the smarts and looks or whatever, and then sometimes it's just like there was only enough smarts and looks for one person, but then there were two babies and you gotta split it up evenly, and then that's when you got to this situation.
This is Christ, Chelsea.
Right? Why do they talk like that? Like, can one of you just talk?
If you don't like it, turn off the TV. Okay?
No.
Terrible.
I don't want to.
I don't know. So I guess they're quite well known in Queensland. So this wasn't their first rodeo. Like they people know them, and I think they call them like the twins or something, obviously.
Groundbreaking.
But they're known because they actually used to, I think they were like mentored by Steve Irwin. Yeah, they were mentored by Steve Irwin, and they now own a
because he
seabird
found them in the jungle.
rescue sanctuary. So they've done a lot for like the seabirds. They even said in that interview with Jimmy that they were going to name the next one that they rescue Jimmy. But this whole thing, like they were interviewed because of this incident with their mom. And then the whole story behind this is actually really sad. But now there's like this virality that now all of us, they know them in Queensland, but now all of us, the world, is getting to see them and obviously, you know, like have so many questions. But so the story here is that there was a crash. So a gunman allegedly caused a crash on the Bruce Highway in Queensland that killed a woman. So there's somebody who died here, and that's why everybody's pissed, because they're like, you know, like now this is turned into having them interviewed and stuff like that, and somebody lost their life.
Yeah.
This person, so she was young, 22 years old, died. I think she was the passenger in the vehicle. So there was the accident. The gunman came out and then was like trying to flee and shot like a good Samaritan in the arm while trying to leave. Then that's when Bridget and Paula's mom was like trying to also help and like figure out what was going on at the scene, and he was bleeding, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "I'm gonna shoot you." And then she's like, "Oh, that's the gunman." So then distracted him and then ran into the bushes and was able to get away. So then that's why they were interviewed. But yeah, somebody lost their life. So all day I'm just like, these two, and then they kept showing up and I'd see like other twins like recreated.
I can't
And I was dying. And now I'm just depressed because I'm like, yeah, that is so sad. I believe I haven't seen the first and last name of the young woman who died in all of this, but I saw somebody say Jocelyn in a comment of TikTok. So, I mean, that is really sad. Obviously, you'd hope that, like, I don't know, like on I guess we don't know really like what's going to happen at this point, but if like Jimmy Kimmel and people are interviewing them, you know, it might be nice to just like acknowledge that for a moment and be like, hey, like the you know, you can find the family over here if they need assistance or whatever. Anyways, I don't know. It went from something that gave me a giggle for the most of the day. And then now I'm just depressed.
That's very Sherilyn coded of you. I mean, that makes sense because you are Sherilyn, but you know, wanting to focus on the victims.
Yeah, I felt bad about the whole situation, you know? So that's what that was. I do want to see the one of another twin. I have a little clip of these two were my favorite sitting in the car.
And make him look the other way. And when he looked the other way, Mama ran into the bush behind the fence. And he said to her, "When I find you, I'll shoot you." All I could think about when we were running is I hope he doesn't fire.
They did so
We're
good.
so blessed. Well, in that way. But when you're running, you don't really think about it at that time.
You know what it reminds me of? Is, oh my Lord. Okay, I'm sending it to you right now. This is exactly like what it's giving.
It's kind of like we almost finish each other's sentences, kind of.
I mean, I don't think we've ever finished each other's sentences.
Yeah, that's it. It's hilarious. Oh, Lord.
Yeah. Well, that was fun for a moment. Okay. The other thing that I had, and this one, at this point, I still think is funny. Okay. So this is the most unhinged thing people have done after being cheated on. So like I said, there was I believe an Instagram post, and she just said, "Yeah, I'm bored. Tell me the most unhinged thing you've done after you found out your spouse cheated on you. We listen and we don't judge." Okay. So the first one says, "Hold my beer. While mine was away on his dirty cheating weekend in Paris, I texted him off my sister's phone to say I and our baby had been in a car crash and were dead. Then I made sure none of my family answered the phone, so he'd have to drop everything and travel home thinking his family was dead. Then he got home to an empty house as I packed up and left. I don't condone this behavior, but I was pretty unhinged in my 20s. I should have saved that for last because that's literally like one of the most diabolical things
Oh
I have ever heard.
my God.
Yeah.
I mean, she said baby, so that might mean that baby means younger than 2. So that's really fucked up.
Yeah, that's insane. I feel like, yeah, there's certain things you don't do, right? Like involve the kid, right? Like you don't, like, if you're going to say like, I'm sick, you know, like, or I'm dead. I'm dead. That's one
Hey,
thing.
I died.
That being said, though, I guess, yeah, like if it was her husband and like just being that hurt and upset, like that's insane. Insane. This one is also one of my favorites. It says, a friend retained a spare key after the breakup, waited till he was out of town, shook loads of watercress seeds onto his new white carpet, misted it, and then turned the heating up just a degree or 2. He came home to a meadow in his living room.
That's beautiful. That is genius.
That is so good. Like
That's-
that is, yeah, so this is pure genius. This needs to be like, yeah, this needs to be saved for,
Yeah.
you know, like future reference from somebody.
Yeah. We were planning to move to Australia together. He had me pay for everything. I found out he was seeing someone else, so I canceled his flight without telling him. We got to the airport. I thanked him for the ride, and we moved across the world without him.
And moved across the world without him.
I can't
so she
read.
left him at the airport.
That's insane. That's good for her.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Someone, Legally Renee, says, I just came to say that although I do not condone all of this behavior, I will defend it. I'm a criminal defense attorney and my sister is a divorce attorney. We've got you all covered. Legally Renee, if anybody's looking for
Yeah.
help.
Damn. I waited until my husband took her away to Malibu for her birthday. He told me and the kids that it was a work trip. Oh my God, that sucks. While he was gone, I changed the locks, installed cameras, loaded his car at the airport with all of his That's diabolical. On the night of her birthday dinner, I watched his location and called the restaurant, told the hostess my friend was there celebrating her birthday, and I wanted to send a bottle of champagne to the table and have it delivered with the message, "Happy birthday, love," my name and my kids' names. And that's how they found out I knew.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So good. After being called damaged goods and told that nobody would want me now that I have a child, I made an OnlyFans account, posted a standard picture of my Instagram feed, sent the link to all his mates, screenshotted when they'd subbed and the amount earned, and I sent it to him asking him to thank his buddies for providing more support to his child than he does. As you can imagine, that went down well.
Holy
I don't
shit.
know if people know this, but yeah, like it when you subscribe to OnlyFans, like it shows your name like on your credit card and stuff like that. We had a friend who had an account and somebody like in our friend circle that would always kind of like not banter, like almost like pick fights and stuff like that, like make it like argue, subscribed. And she's like, what are they doing? I'm like, I don't know, but she's like, oh, I'll take the monthly subscription, that's for sure.
Love that.
Yeah.
Another person said anchovies in the car's air vents. That's pretty
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This one's really bad. On TikTok, I saw a gal say she put milk in a spray bottle and sprayed every surface of the house, his shoes, his clothes, and his car with it. You can never get that rotten smell out. I'm keeping that one in the safe just in case. Yeah. Ooh, can you imagine?
Yikes. I found out and said nothing, literally nothing. I packed my bags and left smiling, saying nothing to him as he begged me to talk to him, and nothing. And to this day, nothing, even though we have the same group of friends.
I love this. I would want to do, like, I wish that I could have the self, like, control and, you know, class to be able to do this. Because
No.
I think,
I'm
no,
not
I'm
that
too,
classy.
I'm too unhinged, but I think that this is so good. Like, just like class act, but also like digs it in even more. Because almost like any reaction is a good reaction. You know, like we say that about kids, but to this day, like that's just like people are like, okay, any reaction's a good reaction. Like you're wanting something out of this situation. And then especially if somebody's cheated, they just want to like try to talk themselves out of it. So when you don't even give them the opportunity to say something, can you imagine like that person to this day probably like still spirals because they're like couldn't say
you're
anything.
right.
You took that power away.
Yeah, that is super powerful because it's like, think about it. what could they say? They like, you've already made up your mind. No, I'm leaving, and you don't need to hear them out on anything or have them explain anything. So there's no point even talking to them. You're just gonna leave.
I think that is so good. Can you imagine like just finding it out, being like, I know, or something, like showing your proof, and then just like leaving? Not even like a like fuck you, I don't want to say anything, just literally like silence.
No, I can't, because I cannot relate. I
can't relate,
not
but
like
I
that.
think that is just, I loved it. It gave me goosebumps when I read that.
I found out my ex at the time had cheated on me with a hairdresser. I found the text and stalked her to find her workplace. Oh, yikes. I called and then booked I'm to see her and got the absolute works done, color cut, wash, special treatment, style, etc. I made absolute besties with her and racked up that bill and then told her my boyfriend was paying. When we were finished, I called him up, called for him to please come and pay, as I didn't have the money. Who wrote this? Like, there's so many typos. He rocked up and walked in. Okay. And the look of horror, what the is happening?
The look on their faces.
Okay. And the look on their faces was priceless. I stood there and watched while he paid my $500 bill. And they were both still pretending not to know each other. Then we left and I told him I knew and I dumped him.
I would have gotten like hair extensions, like $500. What hair salon did you go to, like, for the works? Like color cut, wash, special treat. What, babe? We could have like added another zero to that bitch. Absolutely.
He was a musician while we were together. I did all of his promo, graphic design, photography, album cover design. When we broke up, I sent him an itemized invoice for thousands of dollars, saying that if he didn't pay, he was breaching copyright by using my photography on his cover album. He took it to his uncle, who was a lawyer, and his uncle advised him to pay, and he did. Looking back, I wish I would have done a lot more.
So good too. That is so good.
I love that.
I think that's it. I think that's all I had in there. There were other ones that were I didn't want to share, like, because they were violent. So we didn't share those, but I thought that those were some petty and productive, I think, got the point across. Yeah, that's all I have for today.
Oh, okay.
That was my episode today. Well, that was my contribution today.
Well, there is one thing that's going viral right now that we could go over.
What is it?
This girl's story of like being almost killed. Someone tagged me in it. Okay. I added it to the document.
Schmurder story time. Okay, awesome.
Okay, so the story of how someone tried to murder me in Vancouver.
In Vancouver?
So, trigger warning, this girl is all busted up. And this is a story that multiple people sent me, but then I think like one or two people tagged us in the comments. And yeah, so she got her.
This is where Kelsey lives. This is right next door to me. Like, what the frick?
Yeah, she like got her rocked in Vancouver or something.
Yeah.
Context, I live in Toronto, Ontario. I've lived downtown for like a decade. I'm from Hamilton, Ontario, and I was visiting Vancouver on vacation. So I had taken the train from Toronto to Vancouver. It's like a 4-day sleeper train. Wonderful experience. Would recommend to anybody. And I'd been in Vancouver for like a little over 24 hours. It was my first full day in Vancouver. But last Monday, I did have to work, so I spent a lot of the day in my hotel working. And so I decided to take myself out for dinner and just kind of go walk around and see things. So took myself out for dinner. After dinner, I went to a store and I bought myself a couple of White Claws because I figured I'm on vacation, I'm going to enjoy it. I'll go back to the hotel after my walk and, have a few drinks watching cable TV in my king-size bed. So I had actually already been walking through Stanley Park for probably at least an hour and a half. I wasn't actually in Stanley Park when the assault happened. I was on the other side of the harbor there, almost back to where my hotel was in Cole Harbor. So I was in kind of, I think what most people would consider like a fairly safe touristy area that's typically well trafficked by people. And I was just walking and I happened to be like in a little area that was maybe darker than most and there was more trees. So I was on the seawall just walking, and I think this guy said something to me. I honest to God can't remember what he would have said. And I like turned and he was up slightly like a little grassy hill and he didn't even respond. He just ran at me to attack me. I've honest to God never seen anything like that where it just felt like he was a predator and I was prey. Like, you know, this wasn't because he asked me out and I turned him down. This wasn't because we were chatting and I was trying to get away. Like, it was just he locked in on me and was like, I'm gonna kill this girl. So right when that happened, like, I could tell he was running at me. I just started running as well. And he was pretty quickly able to catch up to me, and he grabbed me by like the back of my jacket and then just slammed me into the ground. And I guess, like, for context, I'm about 5'2", maybe like 135 pounds. I'm not a small person, but I'm not a big person. And he was very much like an average sized man, maybe, you know, 5'10", probably 160 to 170 pounds. So with that first assault, I was one, stunned, but also like, oh my God. And I just started fighting, screaming, fighting. Like I said, I had those drinks in that bag and I was able to pop back up pretty quickly. And then I was just like swinging them on him, like just wailing on him. He kind of backed down fairly quickly with that one, and I was able to run off. And at that point, I thought, like, okay, that was just a random attack. I fought him off. I actually called my phone. I called him. I was on police. I was on the phone with the police saying, like, I'm being attacked. Please help me. When he caught up to me for a second time, I didn't realize that, like, he was still following me again because it was quite dark at the time. But the second attack was definitely, I think, the worst, or one of the worst of them. So he was able to. He grabbed my phone out of my hand and like smashed it on the ground multiple times. And the only way I could describe him was
Girl, we're a third of the way through this. That means he came back. Yeah.
This reminds me also, I'm glad we have a little interjection here too, while the thought is there, like, of her, like, just randomly, like, anything that you have, like, just, like, making the biggest scene possible.
Keys, your thumbs, in the eye sockets, whatever you can do.
Anything. And just, like, even if you're just, like, flailing, like, randomly so that it's not, like, you can't, like, they can't, like, get a hold of you. My friend Tara, she's like a survivor of attempted murder. She's the one who murdered in self-defense, like, Dirty John, like John Meehan from Dirty John. Yeah. And Tara, like, when he came and attacked her and, like, she was on the ground, like, she was just, like, pedal kicking, like, so he couldn't, like, the more movement, right, like, you're putting space between you, but not, like, just, like, you know, screaming. That I've heard, you know, like, you want to never happen to me. But you do want to, like, make yourself as, like, I don't know, wild, like, unhinged as humanly possible, so that they can't, like, get you. And, like, screaming. This is insane, though. Like, that she's saying that she's in a high traffic area. That's terrifying.
Yeah. And it sucks to even say, like that a lot of, even like how the comment says that she's responding to, like, a lot of us, our first thought is like, girl, why are you walking alone at night? And that's never to say, obviously, she deserved it. No one deserves that, clearly. But it's like the fact that we even have to, not even have to, but the fact that, like, that's usually, like, that's just so ingrained in us. Like, I was talking to Tony one time, I was like, I can't go running. First of all, hard stop. I do not run. I don't know why I just said that. But, like, I can't go on, like, a walk and having both, like, AirPods. I can't do that.
No.
In the gym, I can't even do that. Like, cannot do that. Yeah. Always just one, and never on noise canceling, because I never want to, like, not be able to see or hear someone from, like, this side.
Yeah.
Never even, like, at sunset, like, it's crazy. And, like, I've been followed before, but, like, it's just so sad. And it's the conversation more so goes towards what the woman could have done, like, more proactively and, like, to keep herself safe. But it's like, why isn't the conversation automatically, hey, why is this person crazy?
Yeah. Why the is this person out? Where the is our mental health facilities? Like, holy shit. Yeah. Literally.
There was a homeless guy like 2 weeks ago. It was probably like 2 months ago, in one of the parks down in like by downtown Tampa, and the guy, like, it was a homeless guy, and he was crazy. He was, like, running at someone. It was like a teenager or something, and this guy, or no, it was a woman. No, it was a guy, because it was on the Tampa Reddit page. He said he was like, yeah, I don't know whose kid was, like, walking by themselves, looking at their phone, not looking, but, like, this guy was, like, running, like, he was, I think he said he had, like, a screwdriver and, like, a weapon. He was wielding something and was, like, running at this kid. This kid didn't even see him. And the guy who was, like, actually, like, out for, like, a run was, like, saw it, somehow got the guy's attention, and then the homeless guy turned and started running towards him, and he's like, well, shit, now I gotta do this. So he was able to, like, sprint, like, away, and, like, got the guy away from, like, the park, and somehow, I don't know if he did it, like, on his watch or something, but, like, called the cops and, like, literally ran the guy into TPD. It was, like, the story's fucking crazy. Yeah, it's so scary.
Yeah, it is. And it's just getting scarier. Like, I feel like we're seeing even so much more of it too, because, like, I think people, like, we're in such, like, a desperate time right now. Like, people are just, like, I don't know, scared, worried, unsure, right? Like,
Another reason I don't want to have another kid.
yeah, I don't blame you, babe.
Yeah. Well, let's keep going with this because it's going to get worse.
Stephanie.
Being like gleeful. Like he was taking great joy in hurting me. And, you know, I just knew like this person is not okay. There's no way to like ration or reason with them. Just fight. And so he got me down again. Like again, he grabbed me down on the ground. I almost feel lucky this time because he actually got me down on my back. And I'm not the strongest person, but I do have very strong legs. So I was kicking the fucking shit out of him, like kicking his chest, kicking his face, screaming. He was yelling at me like, shut up, you stupid bitch. You're such a C word. Just, you know, everything you would expect a loser man to be yelling at you while he's trying to kill you. And so eventually he actually like at one point grabbed my foot and ripped my shoe off because I'd been kicking him in the face so hard. And I was able to get away. That's when most of my injuries happened, kind of that second time and then the third time that he got me down. And I was able to like run off again and get pretty far before he grabbed me for the third time. The third time when he grabbed me, that's when he really started wailing specifically on my head. And that was at the point where like there was a second where like I blacked out completely, like my vision just went blank. And I just thought like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. I just kept telling myself like, get up, get up.
Oh my gosh.
Like, you're hurt, this sucks, you're bleeding, but like get up because you're gonna die. And so from that point on, kind of when I had that brief blackout to like when I popped back up again, it's very blurry because I think I was already adrenaline rushed and that just like sent me into overdrive. So I was able to fight him off again and continue running. He did grab me like a fourth time, but didn't quite get me all the way on the ground again to hurt me. And so I was just like running towards where I knew there would be people with one shoe just bleeding. He did actually break my nose. So I was just covered in blood from my nose. There was this is quite a large cut that I was just bleeding from. You know, my hands, my legs were all bloody. My pants were all ripped open and I was just bleeding all over the place. So like a bat out of hell, I must have ran so fast and thankfully encountered like a group of people. And I didn't know this at the time. I didn't know this until much later at the hospital, that they actually happened to be a group of like undercover plainclothes cops. So when I went screaming at them, they clearly could see the distress I was in. And he was still chasing me. Like he was still trying to attack me and kill me.
Thank God.
If he had just turned around at any point and run off, I don't think the police ever would have caught him because it was a completely random attack. Like how would anyone have figured this out? So because he was still chasing me, they were able to apprehend him. I thought they were just a group of like,
oh, thank God they caught him. I was like,
well,
where is he?
Who saw this girl running and screaming and crying and bleeding and clearly figured that he was the one who attacked her. And so from there, like they sat me down. It was still kind of like on the wharf. It was near like the West End Hotel where, you know, I found people. They were able to get my statements at that point because they asked me like, do you want to go to the hospital first or would you like to give your statements? I'm like, I want to give my statements because it's as fresh as could be. And I knew I was like shaking and full of adrenaline. I'm like, I don't want to forget anything. I want to tell you everything. And so gave my statements. They went back and they were doing like crime scene reconstruction. So they were able to find my shopping bag that had the white gloves in it that I was beating on him with. That was covered in blood, probably both mine and his. And the white gloves actually like broken open. They were empty because I guess I was hitting him so hard. So they asked me like, is this yours? They found my other shoe at one point. They were wonderful and, you know, did a really great job, I have to say. It was a super terrible experience, but every single first responder that I dealt with, from the police to the EMTs, the doctors and nurses in the hospital, you know, the victim services units that I've been dealing with afterwards, were like so wonderful. I cannot be grateful enough. And I know I'm very lucky that, one, I was in a position that people witnessed the crime, and those people so happen to be cops, and that carries a lot of weight. I know not all women are lucky enough to, one, get out of a situation like that and survive it, two, to even be believed that this person has hurt you and attacked you, and three, for you know, the police to take action and choose to charge this person and kind of give them, you know, the full whatever they can do via the law. So I'm so grateful. I'll have to do a part 2 because we're at 10 minutes, and I'll tell everyone about the legal stuff and contacting my family and my hospital experience and trying to get home from Vancouver. But I would just like to say, like, I'm very grateful for everyone who sent me really nice messages. the only thing I can say to like any other women is fight. Like, it doesn't fight, just fucking fight. You always think to yourself, like, what would I do in that sort of situation? Yeah, I think I would be able to fight, or would I be scared? I promise you that if you were in that situation, you would fight.
What the frick? Oh,
A lot of people in the comments are saying White Claw should supply you for life.
no kidding. She seems like she'd have a really good sense of humor for that as well. Wow. Can you imagine?
No, I cannot.
And the undercover cops, like, that's unreal.
Well, she said plain clothes. What most, like, because typically it's not like a horde of undercover cops walking together. So it was probably like, think about it. If it's like Tony and a bunch of his friends
off duty or whatever.
Yeah. If it's like Tony and a bunch of his friends, like, yeah, they're in plain clothes, but they're also like, they're off duty. They're just friends that they hang out. So that's most likely what it was. But that's amazing that that's who she ran into. And that the guy kept chasing her.
I wonder who this fucker is. I just looked to see if she did the part 2 yet, but there's nothing there.
No, and there's the other, good God, the other things are crazy. So her first one is amazing. And it says, run like a girl, no, fight like a girl. And it shows like her, oh my God, it shows her AirPods. And her bag.
Oh, and her purse.
And her phone.
Oh my God, and her
knuckles,
phone.
her legs.
Oh my God. That's probably, we'll have to do a lot of.
And then one of the next ones says, when a man tried to kill me, but didn't realize I'm the youngest daughter with anger issues who was going through a breakup and was raised in a steel town.
That a girl. That a girl, Stephanie. I love her.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I will be following her to see what's what, because I need her to talk more about it. I mean, maybe.
Yeah, we need to get White Claw on
maybe
that.
we could Google it. I mean, that has to be on the news, right?
Oh, yeah, it is.
Ooh, what's it say? So it says, stranger tried to kill me. Woman visiting Vancouver attacked on seawall. And it says, a man has been charged with assault. That's attempted murder, buddy. Causing bodily harm. Good God. So a Toronto woman is sharing her story. She fought for her life, blah, 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 blah. Shared a violent attack. I was on the seawall, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so it's basically just the dictation of her thing. And then.
Oh, yeah, it does say.
Yeah, it says his name.
Peter Hans Jalu Noongu
has been charged with assault to cause bodily harm and taken into custody at the time of the offense. He had his first court appearance on April 23rd. He's facing charges from an incident 2 days earlier in Surrey.
In Surrey. Shit. So he went from Surrey over to Van. Including assaulting a police officer.
Including assaulting a peace officer, uttering threats to burn, destroy, or damage. So he was like saying he was going to set people on fire probably. Like, what the
Okay, this guy, why is this here? This is what fucking pisses me off, especially in Canada. Okay, so he'd already had this, right? So he'd already facing charges from an incident from 2 days earlier. Then whatever was released, makes his way to Vancouver, and now he's only being charged with assault causing bodily harm. That's attempted murder. He went back 4 fucking times. Mm-hmm. Had she not been strong enough, he would have killed her. That pisses me off because now this fucker is gonna be fucking loose again. And where's his picture so that we can be aware?
Does attempted murder involve premeditation? I don't think so, because that obviously wasn't premeditated. No, because then either way, it needs to be like a more serious charge. I think at least because that's crazy. Like he tried to kill her and almost did.
Ugh, that pisses me off. If we're able to find it, and that's another thing too in Canada, like on lockdown, like a lot of privacy laws. I'll try to see if we can find it. That pisses me right the fork off.
Shitty little attitude.
Yeah, little
People were loving no nap share.
I was so upset.
Crazy. Meanwhile, I just get real quiet. But yeah, that's insane. I'm happy that someone tagged me in that because I think that needs to be talked about more. I mean, she's a complete badass and
well, yeah, and even just to like raise attention, like I never saw that and I'm freaking right next door to it.
Yeah.
Like, to be on the lookout and have, be able to follow up with it too and see, okay, like what does this guy look like? Because like, hey, beware, he's released. He's out in the public. We love to release people here. Love releasing people. I'm pissed off again.
I bet.
guys.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of examples of, someone did something and then was released, and like, what's his face? Larry Singleton.
No idea who it is, but like there's so many.
Girl, I know you know of the story. It's, I forgot the survivor's name, but he picked up a hitchhiker, cut off both of her arms, and threw her into like what's like the like
Like
over
over
a
embankment, like a
like over a guardrail basically, and she like fell down like 30 feet and was like in the mud, and she like came to, and he like cut off her arms like while she was still awake. It's the most horrifying story. And then she like woke up and she like climbed back up like with nubs, and she was like going out of it, like she was like blacking out, and she's like, no, stop it, you have to stay awake, like if you don't stay awake you'll die. And she packed her, I sound so awful calling them nubs, but that's what she called them at the time. So she packed them with like dirt and twigs and stuff and like mud to like stop the bleeding, because she would have bled out. And then she got back up to the road. She was also naked, keep that in mind, because he, and she was like walking down the road covered in blood, covered in mud, naked, and like waving in the air, like trying to get someone's attention. She saw a car coming. It was like two people, and they were like horrified looking at her, and they just kept going. And then another car, it was a husband and wife, they were on their honeymoon. They picked her up and drove her to the hospital and took her there. And then they did like a sketch thing, and they got Larry Singleton, and she like testified against him in court. And then one of the last things he said to her was like, I'm going to finish the job or something like that. Yeah. Or like, if it's the last thing I'll do, I'll kill you. And then she had like just been fitted with her like prosthetic arms or hands or hooks or whatever. And because she like uses the like hooks to like paint, because obviously it's easier to do that than like wooden prosthetic arms back in the day.
Yeah.
Well, then he was released, and then guess where he went to go live? Tampa, Florida. So this motherfucker gets arrested twice for like stealing a disposable camera, and then stealing like a pair of sunglasses and like a hat from like a random store. And then he had ordered a sex worker to come to his house, and someone was walking by his house, like walking their dog. And he looked through like the living room window, just like was walking by, their dog pooped. They looked over as one does. And he just like saw Larry just standing there, like covered in blood. So that guy called the cops. Cops came, saw the sex worker, unfortunately, with like 80 stab wounds. And she was a young mother. And he was then taken to prison again.
What a monster.
And most people think that wasn't his first time doing that to somebody, the cutting off of the arms, because it's like, that's extremely aggressive. That's not your first time. Yeah. So a lot of people think that, and me too, I think that it's like he would pick up hitchhikers, and it was back in the day, like you're just picking up people who are, like lost to their families.
Is that what the first woman was? Like, was she hitchhiking?
Yeah.
Or how did they meet? Do we know? Oh,
She'd like left, it was in Southern California. She had left home, and then she's like, you know what? I miss my family. I'm going to go back home. And then she realized like, oh, he's going the wrong way. And then he like knocked her out, and then he like hit her in the head with a sledgehammer or something.
What the
Yeah. She's a badass.
Well, no kidding. Horrible. Again, released. Why?
Yeah. Lawrence Singleton, this motherfucker. Oh, did he get the electric chair? Because he was in Stark, Florida. I think he got cancer. Yeah, he died of cancer. He
died of cancer. He didn't get the electric chair.
Yeah, or it would have been lethal injection. But Stark, Florida is where one of our biggest prisons is, and they were like one of the last ones to like stop using an electric chair. And the electric chair there was called Old Sparky. That's where what's his face died.
I feel like I know that.
Ted Bundy.
Old Sparky. I feel like I've heard that.
Yeah.
Ted died there. Oh yeah, because that's where he was last at, right?
Yeah, because he was in Tallahassee, and Stark, Florida is basically like in between here and Tallahassee, and so a lot of people get sent up there. I think so, right? I don't know. Who am I? A true crime bitch? Not me.
There's too many.
Yeah. So the thing is that with the first victim, not the first victim, the one that he cut off her arms. Let me actually find her. Mary Vincent. That's who it is. She's a badass. She's amazing.
Mary. Mary.
Love her to death. But she, for what he did to her, attempted murder, raping her for like 48 hours straight and, mutilating her. He only served, he got sentenced to 14 years. And guess how many he served?
I don't know, like half?
8.
I'm assuming because that's what people, oh my God.
But then guess what happened in Florida? They were like, nah, death. Yeah. He's also, so he, when I tried to do true crime content and then I was like, I can't do this. That's one of my favorite survivor stories. And so I did a video on that one. And he, obviously I would always go into they were born and literally go through their entire life. I know way too much about Bobby Joe Long and Ed Gein and literally everybody. This man, there's nothing about him from his previous life, nothing at all. It's crazy. And it just says he was a former merchant seaman, which means I guess you work on cargo ships or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's okay if he was traveling around like that, that's maybe how he got away with too.
Right.
Yeah.
When did he die?
Not soon enough. He died
literally
December 28th, 2001.
2001. Holy shit.
Same year as 9/11. Never forget.
What a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Wowzers. What about Mary? Is she okay? Is she still around?
Let's see what Mary's up to.
Yeah, let's see what Mary's up to.
Mm-hmm. Mary McGriff, she got married. Mary got married. Born 1963, is an artist and a victim's advocate. She became known to the public after surviving a violent attack in which her forearms were severed with an axe while hitchhiking in 1978. She was a teenager, most people don't.
I was just going to say, she's in teen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And McGriff has focused her adult life on her art, and she generally avoids the public spotlight. Vincent began using prosthetic arms within 2 weeks after the attack. As someone who likes to tinker, Vincent has used spare parts from broken down electronics to modify her prosthetics into custom designs. What a badass. Among the changes in her life after the attack, she began a career in art. She was a dancer before that. She was a really talented dancer. And I believe she did ballet and lyrical and I think a few other things. But then she went to University of Nevada at Las Vegas. She married and subsequently got divorced, and her ex-husband have 2 sons. Oh, and then she got remarried to Tony McGriff and they live in Washington.
Oh, Mary.
Always good to marry a Tony,
My heart. Well, maybe we'll be able to find some of her art and then just put it here for everybody to look at so we can leave on a more positive note. I love that for Mary. I mean, not the whole situation, obviously, you guys, but
yeah, no, she's amazing. It says that she also draws family and individual portraits on commission.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Yeah, I'm trying to go to the source for that to see if she
has her Instagram or something there.
Oh my goodness, that's beautiful. Yeah, it just really reminded me of women who really just fight like hell, like her. And then also
Alison Botha. Holy.
Which one is she?
That's the one from, she's the one who, she was carjacked and taken by 2 men to this little outskirt area in Australia. And they brutalized her. And she was basically decapitated, came to, said that when she was waking up, came to and trying to stand up, all of a sudden she could see black and stars, and it's because her fucking head flew back basically, and she had to hold it on and then crawl to the road. And then same kind of Mary's story, I believe somebody drove by at first and then another man stopped and helped her. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that man delivered her son later. I might be making that up. Hold on one second. There's something that had to do with a circle back around with that man.
Lisa McVeigh was the survivor of Bobby Joe Long. Bobby Joe Long is one of Tampa's only serial killers that we've ever had. And one of Tony's dad's friends was the investigating detective who caught him and arrested him. And then he was able to be there when he was executed too. But I just put in the folder an Instagram story where she's talking about it.
I had to remain calm. I couldn't find him. I was much smaller than he was. So then I had to start putting clues together. Anything I saw, smell, touch, taste, I had to remember it to save my life. He ties me up, my ankles, my wrists, and now he's going to blindfold me. There's some way I've got to see beneath his blindfold. Take your jaw, tighten your jaw, real tight. Muscles, right? They contract, they expand. Just like if you put a string around your fists and you let go, it's loose. It allowed my blindfold to be loose enough so I could see beneath my blindfold. The fluorescent lights on the interstate, they were shining through my blindfold. You could see it. I could hear the ticking of the car needing like a tune-up. I could see green lighting from the clock down the dashboard. Anything I saw, I related to something I already knew, and I just compartmentalized it so I can remember it.
Oh, I forgot so much of this case. Yeah, she was like disemboweled also, like her insides were like out.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and anyways, yeah, he's a doctor. So there was like a twist there, and I'm almost positive that was he had something to do with he saved her and then they like reunited at another time in life or whatever. But anyways, yeah, she's insane. What were you saying while I was looking for that?
That's crazy. The Lisa McVeigh,
I remember you telling me about that.
She was on her bike and he picked her up and he blindfolded her and then took her to his house, and basically she was able to manipulate him, and he let her go to the bathroom and she just wiped her fingerprints and like put her DNA all over the bathroom. Basically, she was like, if he kills me and then somehow I guess they like search his house or something, they'll at least like find my DNA. And she's like 14 when this is happening. It's insane. And she had written a suicide note that morning because she was going to kill herself after she got home from work. But then she ended up working a double. She was like Dunkin' Donuts or something, or like Baskin Robbins. And so she worked a double and then she was going back home, and that's when he got her. But she was able to manipulate him and like love bomb him basically. And he let her go. He took her back to where he picked her up, and she's like, I won't tell anybody, I promise. Like, you could be my boyfriend, and like crazy. But he kept her blindfolded until like he drove away. But while he was brutalizing her, she touched his face and was like, he thought she was being like, she's like fucking memorizing what he looks like. And like, okay, he has a scar here. Like, this is how big his nose is. And like, this is his haircut. And then she went to the police like right after. And they said, they were like, do you think you could take us to where the house is? And she's like, yes. So she did. But back then, I guess they needed like, I don't know, they needed to like watch him or something, or they needed something else. And like, it was like a specific time, like they knew it was him, but for everything to stick and they wanted to pin all of like 25 other murders on him. So they were able to, but they literally only got him because of her. And she was in an episode of I Survived. And there's usually like 3 survivor stories in like each episode. And the other 2 were like, I survived because like I was able to call the cops or something. And like, or like because Siri worked for me and I was trapped under a car. And they usually say something stupid like that. And she, no offense to these people, but it's just crazy because it's like, damn, I would not want to be paired up in that show with her.
Yeah, it's like, you're just like, maybe a different episode.
Yeah,
we could just let her have the whole episode.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, because her response was, I survived because I like out manipulated a serial killer.
Yes.
Yeah. And she works with Tony now. Well,
that's
he
insane.
works
I think I remember you telling me that. I don't know if we knew all of like the back end of it, but in one of our earlier episodes, I think we talked about it. Maybe that was one of the ones that didn't make it. But.
Probably. Yeah,
didn't make it.
She's a badass. I have yet to meet her. I would love her, but I have met multiple times the arresting detective. He was so happy for that to finally be over, and that he was able to pull strings and like be there when he was killed, executed.
Peace.
Yeah, that guy.
That guy. All these guys. Yeah. What the fork?
Girl, every time all of these fuckers have like multiple head injuries when they're little, and now whenever Bean like bumps his head on the side of a table, I'm like, great, he's gonna be a serial killer.
I'll see.
He flung himself off the couch the other day, and neither of us were fast enough to catch him. Guess what? It just bounces right back up. This kid's made of rubber.
It is scary. I know. It is really scary, right? And they're like resilient. Like Kyler, I feel like it's a lot more like prominent with boys. Like Kai will like have just like gnarly freaking wipeouts. And I'm like, Whitney's like, it's okay. Don't react. I'm like, okay, I have to turn around.
It's really hard
gotta
not
go.
to react, girl. So hard.
Oh no, he knows because I'm like, and then he looks at me and he's like, and I'm just like, it's okay. Yeah.
Good God.
Anyways, they're resilient. It's okay. They're not going to be serial killers. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah, I mean, he won't have mommy issues. He's not going to kill animals. He loves animals.
There you go.
So that's like the trifecta, right? Mommy issues, killing animals, head injuries.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah.
You're good. You've only got one.
Everyone's fine.
Everyone's fine. You're fine. Are we fine? That ended on a darker. What an episode. We love you guys.
I'm going to title.
I can't say that the next episode is going to be any more uplifting. So sorry in advance.
No, it is going to be different. But you know what? I'm going to title this episode Fight Like a Girl. How to Fight Like a Girl.
That is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got some badass broads in this episode, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Even the start, even the one, actually this whole episode, yeah, even the twins' moms that we started out with,
You're about to just say the twins. I was going to be like, don't talk about them.
Not the twins, but like she was like right in there. That's how this whole thing kind of unfolded.
Like they
so,
dress
there
the
we go.
same still too. I'm spooked.
Anyways.
Why is there two of them?
I don't know. I guess they're doing really great work though for the seabirds. So good for them. Good for us. Good for everybody in the episode. Love it all.
Yeah.
Love being a woman.
Yeah, please do. And make sure you're subscribed to this podcast, please. And rate and review on all of those places. And so that we can get some upper BLEPHs, make sure you subscribe to Patreon, please. Okay. All right. So stay feral.
Stay delusional.
Damn the man! Save the empire!
Goodbye.
Goodbye.